You can't control your thoughts, and trying to control them is what makes them control you. This sounds backwards, but it's the truth nobody tells you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why thought control is impossible and the three practices that will give you something better than control: freedom from needing to control your thoughts at all. I used to think I should be able to control my mind, that if I was disciplined enough, spiritual enough, mentally strong enough, I could just decide what to think and think it. But the harder I tried to control my thoughts, the more out of control they felt. Unwanted thoughts kept showing up: intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts, anxious thoughts, and I felt like a failure, like I couldn't even control my own mind. What was wrong with me? Then I learned something that changed everything. The mind isn't designed to be controlled. It's designed to produce thoughts, constantly, randomly, without your permission. That's just what minds do. And trying to control that process is like trying to control the weather. You can't. But what you can control is your relationship with your thoughts, whether you believe them, whether you act on them, whether you let them run your life. That's the real power, not thought control, but thought freedom. Here's what we're covering. First, why you can't actually control your thoughts and why trying creates more suffering. Second, the three myths about thought control that keep you trapped. And third, the three practices that create freedom from your thoughts so you don't need to control them anymore. Let's start with why thought control is impossible. Your mind generates between 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Most of them are repetitive, most are automatic, most happen outside your conscious awareness. They're produced by your subconscious based on your conditioning, your beliefs, your past experiences, your current emotional state. You don't choose them, they just arise. Like breathing, like your heartbeat. Your mind is producing thoughts whether you want it to or not. So when you try to control your thoughts, what you're really trying to do is stop your mind from functioning the way it's designed to function. You're fighting against your own biology, and you can't win that fight. You might suppress a thought temporarily, but it comes back, often stronger, because suppression creates pressure, and pressure builds until it releases. That's the rebound effect. The more you try not to think something, the more you think it. This is why thought control strategies fail. Positive thinking, thought stopping, distraction. They all require you to monitor your thoughts constantly, to catch the bad ones and replace them with good ones, to stay vigilant against unwanted thinking. And that's exhausting. It's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes constant effort, and the moment you relax, it pops back up. You can't maintain it, and you burn yourself out trying. The better approach isn't controlling your thoughts, it's changing your relationship with them. Understanding that thoughts are just thoughts. They're not truth, they're not you. They're just mental events passing through. And when you stop treating them like enemies to control, they lose their power over you. You can have any thought and be okay, because you're not your thoughts, you're the space in which thoughts appear, and that space is always free. Now here are the three myths about thought control that keep you trapped. Myth 1. You should be able to control what you think. This is the fundamental lie. It assumes that you have direct control over thought production, but you don't. Thoughts arise spontaneously, based on subconscious processes you have no conscious access to. Yes, you can intentionally think about something, you can direct your attention, but you can't prevent unwanted thoughts from showing up. And believing you should be able to makes you feel like a failure every time an unwanted thought arises, which is constantly. The truth is, having unwanted thoughts is normal, it's human. It doesn't mean you're broken or weak. It means you have a brain, and brains produce thoughts. All kinds of thoughts, wanted and unwanted. Your job isn't to control which ones show up. Your job is to decide which ones you believe and act on. That's where your power actually is. Myth 2. If you think it, you'll do it. This creates so much anxiety. You have an intrusive thought, something violent, sexual, inappropriate, and you panic. Why am I thinking this? Does this mean I want to do it? Am I a bad person? And you try desperately to control these thoughts because you believe they reflect your character or predict your behavior. But they don't. Thoughts are just thoughts. They don't mean anything about who you are or what you'll do. Everyone has intrusive thoughts, disturbing thoughts, thoughts that contradict their values. It's a normal function of the brain, and having the thought doesn't mean you'll act on it. There's a huge gap between thinking and doing. You can think about jumping off a building and not jump. You can think about screaming in a quiet room and not scream. Thoughts don't control your actions unless you believe them and choose to act on them. So stop treating intrusive thoughts like they're dangerous. They're just noise, mental static, nothing more. Myth 3. Controlling your thoughts will make you happy. This is the biggest myth. The idea that if you could just think positive thoughts all the time, you'd be happy. But that's not how happiness works. Happiness isn't about having perfect thoughts. It's about being at peace with whatever thoughts show up, negative thoughts included. Because when you're not fighting your thoughts, when you're not scared of them, they don't create suffering. They're just passing through. No different than sounds in the background. You notice them, you let them go, and you stay present with your life. The pursuit of perfect thinking is what creates unhappiness. Because you're constantly monitoring yourself, judging yourself, trying to force something that can't be forced. And you miss your life trying to control your mind. Real happiness comes when you stop trying to control your thoughts and start accepting them. All of them. The good, the bad, the weird, the dark, all of it. Because it's all just the mind doing its thing. And it doesn't have to mean anything about you. Now here's how to actually create freedom from your thoughts so you don't need to control them. Practice number 1. Observe thoughts without identifying with them. This is the foundation. Instead of I'm not good enough, you notice I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. See the difference? You're not the thought, you're the observer of the thought. And that distance changes everything. Because you're no longer fused with the thought. You can see it as a mental event. Temporary, impermanent, not truth, just a thought. This takes practice. Your default is to identify with thoughts, to become them, but you can train yourself to observe. Every time you notice a thought, silently label it, thinking, or there's a thought. You're creating awareness of the thinking process. You're stepping back from the content of the thought and recognizing it as just that, content. And when you do this consistently, you realize, I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness that notices thoughts. And that awareness is always free, always peaceful, always okay. Practice number 2. Let thoughts come and go without engagement. This is the practice of non-attachment. A thought arises, you notice it, and you let it pass. You don't grab onto it, you don't analyze it, you don't build a story around it, you don't follow it down a rabbit hole. You just let it be there and then let it go. Like a cloud passing through the sky, you see it, it moves on. No big deal. This is the opposite of thought control. You're not trying to stop thoughts or change them. You're just not engaging with them. They can be there, they're allowed, but you're not giving them your attention or energy. You're not making them significant. They're just mental noise. And the more you practice this, the less power thoughts have, because they need your engagement to stick around. When you stop engaging, they dissolve on their own. This also means not judging yourself for having certain thoughts. A negative thought shows up. Instead of, oh no, I'm thinking negatively again, I need to stop this. You just notice there's a negative thought and move on. No drama, no judgment, just observation. And when you remove the judgment, thoughts lose their stickiness. They come and go more fluidly, and you're not weighed down by them. Practice number 3. Redirect attention to the present moment. Your thoughts pull you into the past or future, ruminating, worrying, planning, regretting. And when you're lost in thought, you're not here, you're not present. So the practice is bringing your attention back to now, to your senses, to your body, to your breath. Not as a way to avoid thoughts, but as a way to ground yourself in reality instead of getting lost in mental narratives. This is mindfulness. You notice you're caught in thought, you gently redirect to the present. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the sounds around you. Feel the air on your skin. You're anchoring in what's actually real instead of what your mind is telling you. And when you're present, thoughts have less grip, because they exist in the realm of mental abstraction. But presence is direct experience. It's what's happening right now, and there's peace in that. A peace that doesn't depend on having perfect thoughts. You can also use this practice proactively. Set aside time each day to just be present. No phone, no distractions, just you and now. Sitting, breathing, noticing. You're training your mind that it doesn't always have to be thinking, that there's another mode, presence. And the more you practice presence, the less dominated you are by thought, because you've experienced the alternative, the freedom of just being, without needing to think about anything. Here's what I want you to understand: you don't need to control your thoughts, you need to stop being controlled by them. And that happens when you realize thoughts are just thoughts. They're not truth, they're not you, they're not commands, they're just mental events. And you have the power to observe them without believing them, to let them pass without acting on them, to stay present without getting lost in them. That's real mental freedom. Not control, but liberation from the need for control. We covered why thought control is impossible. Your mind produces thoughts automatically. We identified 3 myths. You should control thoughts. If you think it, you'll do it. Controlling thoughts creates happiness. And we walked through 3 practices. Observe thoughts without identifying. Let thoughts come and go. Redirect attention to present moment. This is how you master your mind. Not by controlling what it thinks, but by choosing what you do with what it thinks. By not believing every thought. By not acting on every impulse. By staying grounded in presence instead of lost in mental narratives. That's power. That's freedom. That's peace. So here's your practice. For the next 24 hours, notice your thoughts. Label them. Thinking. Don't try to change them. Don't judge yourself for them. Just observe. See them as passing events. And notice, you are not your thoughts. You're the awareness behind them. And that awareness is always free. Let me know in the comments, what thought do you most want to control? And what would change if you just let it be there without fighting it? You are not your thoughts. You never were. You're the sky, not the clouds. Welcome to freedom. This is where peace lives.